Hello students, in the last video I have explained cold cathode type of ionization gas. Today I am going to explain a totally different type of ionization gas, and that is known as hot cathode ionization gas. So let me first of all explain what is the basic difference between these two types of gauges. That means the cold cathode ionization gas and the hot cathode ionization gas. So first of all, the use of this ionization gas, basically it is used for a measurement of high and ultra high vacuum. So ionization gauges you can classify into two categories or two types: hot cathode type of gauges and cold cathode type of gauges. So the cold cathode type of gauge, that is the last one we have seen, because of field emission, the electron is first of all initiated. So the field emission effect can be caused by application of very high potential to one of the electrode, and once the electrons are initiated, they are accelerated and they produce the ionization of the gas molecule. So that was the technique used in cold cathode type of ionization gauges. Now let us discuss here the particular type of hot cathode type of gauge, and especially the triode type of ionization gauge, hot cathode ionization gauge, that we are going to study in this particular lecture. Okay, so the hot cathode ionization gauge, you know that a current of electrons released thermionically from a filament. So basically a filament is heated electrically and electrons are emitted from this filament. These electrons are further accelerated to ionize some of the gas molecules. So inside a vacuum chamber where we are going to fix this ionization gas, so it will ionize the gas molecules, and because of ionization it will create positive ions, and measuring this current we can measure the pressure, because you know that the ionization that will be proportional to the number density or molecular density inside the chamber, and indirectly you can say it is proportional to pressure inside the chamber. So the rate of ionization, in case of ionization gauges, the rate of ionization is proportional to the number density of molecules and hence the pressure. So whatever the number of molecules present inside a chamber at a particular instant, that actually indicates a pressure inside the chamber, and that is what we want to measure. Pressure, that means a very low pressure, that means we are going to measure a vacuum. Okay, so the ionization is proportional to the number density of molecules and hence the pressure. So the current of ions thus generated is collected and it provides the measure of pressure. Okay, so it affords a measure of pressure. So we can know how much pressure is there inside a chamber, and from that we can have an idea about the level of the vacuum. In the cold cathode type, the type which we are going to discuss especially in this lecture, so the cold cathode type, the current that sustains a magnetically confined, okay, cold cathode, sorry, we have already discussed earlier. So we have seen that the current that sustains magnetically confined discharge is similarly created in proportion to the molecular number density. This type we have already studied, and in this lecture now we are going to study the hot cathode type. Okay, so the ionization probability and hence the current depends upon types of gas molecules. So inside the chamber you can have different gas molecules, maybe nitrogen, maybe oxygen, helium, hydrogen, argon, neon. So what type of gas species are present inside the chamber? So the ionization probability for different type of gas molecules will be different. And you know that the basic principle is that the energy of the electron should be sufficient, uh, and it should be slightly above the ionization potential of that gas molecule species. So for different gas species the ionization potentials are different, and if what is the level of energy of the electron, that will decide the ionization probability. So it is different uh, for different gas molecules, and therefore it is essential to calibrate such gauges against a standard one. So it is quite difficult to calibrate such particular ionization gauges because they are dependent upon the gas species. So you should calibrate them with the help of some standard. So let us see first of all the typical diagram of this hot cathode triode type ionization gauge. Triode, so obviously there are 3 electrode. So this is a 3 electrode device where one electrode is thermionic emitter of electrons. That means the filament which is heated, and you can see here the filament, it is mentioned here, okay, this arrow. So the central one, the horizontal line that indicates the filament. So electrically it is heated with the low tension supply, you can see here, and this because of this electrical supply the filament will be heated and electrons will be emitted through this particular filament. So this is the first electron, okay. Then next one, a second electrode is biased at a voltage positive with respect to the electron emitter. Electron emitter means this filament. So other electrode, second electrode, is biased at a voltage which is positive with respect to this first filament electrode, okay, and whose voltage is substantially higher than the ionization potential of the system gases. So whatever the gases present inside this chamber, vacuum chamber, where you want to measure the pressure, so the voltage of this second electrode, that must be kept sufficiently higher in order to overcome the ionization potential. So this particular electrode is this one, okay. You can see here, this is electron collector, and this particular hot cathode triode type of ionization gauges, it is connected to a vacuum system, so that whatever the pressure inside the vacuum, same pressure there will be present inside this hot cathode ionization gauge. And this is a system of 3 electrodes. This is the electron collector, second electrode, this is the filament, first electrode, and let us see now this third electrode, this pink one, okay. So the third electrode biased negative with respect to the thermionic emitter. You can see here this negative potential, negative of the supply. So this third electrode is kept negative, the second electrode is kept at positive potential, and this is the first electrode, that is the filament, to generate the beam of electron or to emit the electron, okay. So the third electrode is biased negative with respect to the thermionic emitter, so that electrons cannot energetically reach it, okay. So electron should not reach toward this, so therefore it is kept at negative potential. Now what happens, how this particular ionization gauge work? Since this electrode is kept at very high positive potential, so initially this first electrode, that means the filament, it will emit electron when it is heated electrically. So these electrons, they will be accelerated because of the high positive potential present at the second electrode, and during their path in this direction, they will have collision with the gas molecules present inside this hot cathode ionization gauge, and because of this collision they will produce ionization of the gas molecule. So whenever there is ionization of the gas molecule, a ion, positive ion, and one electron, that will be produced. So what will happen, this electron will be further accelerated towards the plates, so the number of electron will increase the initial electron and newly produced electron. So it will further accelerated, and it will again act as a new electron to provide the collision. So this particular ionization will sustain continuously. Then let us see what happens to the ions, positive ions that are produced. So the positive ions, because of the negative potential on this third electron, the positive ions, they will be attracted. Okay, so these ions will constitute a current in this particular circuit of the third electrode, and you can place a current meter and you can measure that particular ionic current, and this current will be directly proportional to the number density, because ionization, that will depend how many ions are produced, that will depend number of gas molecules present inside the chamber, that means the number density. And therefore, you know, the number density and pressure, they are directly related, and therefore from this ionic current you can calibrate it for the measurement of pressure inside the vacuum chamber from this side. Okay, so this is how this hot cathode ionization gauge is working. And this is another typical diagram, more an easy one to understand the connections. You can see this triode type of gauge, hot cathode gauge. So you can see this triangular one, this is the filament, it is heated with some low tension supply, and you can see this electrode, which is second electrode, and it is kept at a very high positive potential, 100 to 250 volt approximately. And because of this high supply, positive supply, the electron generated here, they will be accelerated to this plate. In between, they will collide with the gas molecule, producing positive ion and electron. So electron will not be attracted to this third electrode, because it is negatively biased. You can see here only the ions that are generated in the process of collision, they will be attracted and they will flow in this particular path. And you can connect a meter here, current meter, so that will constitute a current, and this current, that will directly indicate the pressure level. You can calibrate it for the measurement of pressure level, and this triode type of gauge, that is connected to the vacuum system. Now in this particular ionization gauge, we need a special type of filament. So this filament should have a low work function. Low work function means the amount of energy required to release the electron from certain metal surface. That is what we call it as a work function. So this filament should have a low work function, so that the electrons can be easily emitted with the utilization of smallest amount of energy. Okay, so the filament especially used here is iridium wire, which is coated with thorium oxide, and it is having a low work function. Now the electrons emitted from the first electrode, they are accelerated to the second electrode, and in the process collide with the gas molecule, creating ions. So ions thus created are collected on the third electrode, and the ion current can be measured. So that is how this is working. Now let us see some theoretical representation, mathematical representation of this process. Okay, let us assume that sigma is the probability of the gas molecule that can be ionized. So the probability of ionization in a collision by an electron. So let us assume that sigma is the ionization probability for a particular gas species. The ion current is released related to the pressure P by an equation. You can write an equation which gives the relation between ion current and the pressure P. Pressure P means the pressure inside the vacuum chamber to which this particular triode type of gauge is connected. Okay, so the relation is that this ion current, that means I plus, you can see here, that represents the ion current. So I plus, that is equal to sigma I minus. I minus means the actual number of electrons. Okay, I minus, or electron current you can say. So sigma I minus L into P, where P is the pressure. Okay, I minus, just I have told you that the number of electrons created, or electron current at sigma is the ionization probability, and here L. So L is the mean path length per electron. So whenever the electron is created from the filament, so how much distance it travels, that is called as the mean path length per electron. A single electron, how much path it gets, because it will decide how many molecules it will collide with from its journey from the filament to the electrode, which is kept at high positive potential. Okay, so that is what L. That is what L. So the parameter sigma, that means the ionization probability, varies with gas species. I have already mentioned this fact. So sigma varies with gas species because different gas molecules, they have different ionization potentials, and therefore sigma varies with gas species. So for a given geometry and for a given gas type, this product sigma N2L, sigma means the ionization probability and L means the mean path length per electron. So if you take this product sigma L, that is constant for a given geometry of the particular triad type of gas and for a given type of gas. So sigma L is constant, and therefore you can write I plus the ionic current, that is equal to S into I minus P, where S we have considered that L into sigma. Okay, so earlier in the earlier equation we have substitute L into sigma, that is equal to S. So S I minus into P. So I plus is equal to S into I minus P. You can write that equation. So if you rearrange the term and if you write the equation for S, then S will be I plus upon I minus into P. So what is S? S is the proportionality constant and it is called as the gauge sensitivity. Gauge sensitivity, that means this hot cathode type of gauge sensitivity. Okay, so the probability of ionization depend on the energy of electron with which it interacts with the gas molecule, because you know that when the electron is accelerated and when it first time collide with some gas molecule, the energy is initially higher, but when it further travels and reach to second molecule, definitely its electron, the energy of the electron will be lower. So if it is sufficient, that means more than the ionization potential of that gas molecule, then only ionization will take place. If it is not sufficient, then definitely there will be no ionization. So ionization probability is very important here, that depend upon energy of the electron when it interacts with the gas molecule. Now this particular hot cathode triad type of ionization gas, it has a typical range. I have mentioned that high and ultra high vacuum ranges, that is the working range. So 10 raised to minus 3 to 10 raised to minus 8 torr. In this particular range, this hot cathode triad type of ionization gas, that is very suitable for measurement of vacuum. Now to the lower range. Lower means lower vacuum, lower pressure. Okay, lower pressure means 10 raised to minus 10 torr. So towards the lower range limit to 10 raised to minus 8 torr. So this limit is because X-ray radiation resulting from electron bombardment of the anode. So how this happens? When electron is released, so if you try to measure the pressure further lower than this 10 raised to minus 8, minus 9, minus 10, why it is not possible? Because in that particular case, it may be possible that X-ray radiations are given out. Why X-ray radiations are given out? Because when you go to very low pressure, 10 raised to beyond this 10 raised to minus 8, that means maybe 10 raised to minus 10, minus 11. In that particular case, the number density is very small. That means gas molecules present inside the chamber is very small. Therefore, less number of collision. A particular electron, when emitted from the filament and when it is accelerated towards the anode, it may not have collision because there are less number of gas molecules present inside the chamber. So a particular electron may not collide with any gas molecule and it will directly strike the anode. So you know the production of X-ray technique. So whenever highly energetic electron, it strikes on certain metal surface, then X-rays are emitted. So that phenomena will take place if you try to use this particular hot cathode triode type of ionization gauge beyond this limit 10 raised to minus 8, further 10 raised to minus 9 or 10, then that will produce X-rays radiations, and therefore this is the limitation. You cannot go beyond this particular range. So that is what a particular type hot cathode triode type of ionization gauge. So in this way we have seen different types of gauges for vacuum measurement. Initially we have started with McLeod gauge, which is a very simple gauge which is based on a simple Boyle's law. Then we have seen the some of the gauges which are based on thermal conductivity property, then cold cathode type of ionization gauge, hot cathode type of ionization gauge. So there are such a variety of uh, vacuum measurement gauges they are available, and each of these particular type has certain limitations. They can be used in a particular range only.